Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And hopefully you're coming here after earlier this week listening to our amazing Things Are Getting Weird episode.
Yes.
With the beautiful, talented, smart, funny Amanda Montell.
Yes. She's all of those things.
She's all of those things.
Very, very well spoken to the point where I felt like I had drool coming out of my mouth listening to her speak because I was just like, whoa, she's so smart.
She's blowing your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She told me like twice during the conversation that I made a good point, and I was like, yes, it was like getting like a commendation from a teacher that you really liked, you know?
Yeah, I know, because she was just incredible, truly.
Yeah, but go listen to that episode if you haven't yet. We talk all about the linguistics of cults, so like the language of cults, and how basically all of us are a little bit in a cult.
We are. Really close your eyes, think about it for 2 seconds, and I'm sure you can come up with 5 different cults that you're probably in. Because I know I am.
Oh, Amanda has realized that, unfortunately, her whole personality is being in cults.
Unfortunately, every single thing that I am interested in, turns out it could be a cult.
Yeah. She doesn't know how to do anything halfway, okay?
I really don't.
But yes, we're very happy you're here for our regularly scheduled episode.
That's right. I'm drinking a peach whiskey sour.
I love that I got you into whiskey sours. It makes me so happy.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I don't know what my life was like before I liked them.
Pre-WS and post-WS.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 different Amandas. 2 totally different Amandas happening there.
That's the only way I'm going to understand like the A, C, B, C,
yeah,
whatever is going to be WS.
Like, this was before Whiskey Sours, Amanda, and this is after Whiskey Sours, Amanda.
Who do you like more?
I'm pro Whiskey Sour, Amanda.
Thank you.
I mean, you've just gotten more exciting as you are like eating wise, you know, like you've expanded your palate, which is exciting.
I've ventured out.
I think that's a good thing for an adult person to do.
Yeah, it just took me quite a long time.
I was gonna say we have an episode of Things Are Getting Weird coming up in a few weeks where we talk a little bit about that.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. More surprise, more food talk, guys.
Us wanting to talk about food? Who would have thunk?
Somebody commented on one of our like earlier episodes on Spotify recently, and they said, drinking the Kool-Aid, all they talk about is Taco Bell, poop, and something else. I can't remember. But I was like, yes, that's accurate.
Like, was this a positive or a negative comment?
It was ambiguous.
Ambiguously
it could have
themed comment. Okay.
It could have gone either way.
Gone either way. Good to know.
Because there was no like smiley face. There was no LOL.
But here you are commenting and talking about us.
No, right. So that's why I was like,
yeah.
It wasn't one of those ones that I would send you and be like, oh my God, look at this person being so mean to us, because I didn't know.
Okay, yeah. Ambiguous.
So I took it as a positive.
Okay, that's all it takes.
Yeah, because I was like, yes, that is all we talk about.
You're like, actually, that's like just accurate. That's just an accurate description.
Yeah, and it doesn't change.
Once again, that's like even when people are mean to us and it's something that I know is true, I'm like, yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I already know that.
Right. Like, tell me something I don't know.
Like, oh, you're wrong sometimes and you're annoying. Yeah. I've been living in this body with this brain for 32 years. You don't think that I know that?
Guys, come on. We're not that stupid. Like, we're stupid, but we're not that stupid. We're self-aware. Self-aware idiots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you should be.
Exactly.
Listen, everybody loves a self-aware queen.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Oh. I was about to say how hot it is, but you guys already know that.
We can't say that
talk
every
about
single
it.
week.
I know, it's too annoying. Speaking of being annoying.
I'm annoyed at ourselves.
Self-aware. It's too annoying. Oh my gosh, speaking of hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love ramen. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about food again, obviously. Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story.
Okay, please.
So I love ramen.
As do I.
And the liquor store, they have all of the different types of that bulldog ramen that all the kids are eating online. Have you seen the videos of people eating this?
Girl, no.
Okay, so it's like a brand of ramen, and it's really good. And they have
what makes it so special?
The noodles are good. The flavors are good. They do like different flavors, and they make really spicy ones too. So people will video themselves like eating the really spicy ones. It's just a good ramen. Like the noodle quality, I think is really pretty good.
So we're not talking like. Do you like the ramen that's in that yellow package?
Yeah, of course. What do I look like? An aristocrat?
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
because that's like my favorite thing ever.
That's like saying like, oh, do you like a fancy Michelin star taco? Okay, but do you also like Taco Bell? Yeah, I like both of them. There's, but this one's also in a bag. Like it's just ramen in a bag that you put, you boil and you add the stuff. But anyway, so they have all these different flavors. And so for a while, what I would do is, okay, we're out of paper towels. I need paper towels like right now. As a treat to myself for running this errand, I am going to buy one of the Bulldog ramens and try it out because I had never had them before. They don't sell them anywhere around us besides this place.
Okay.
So I started like working my way through the flavors of them. But like, sometimes it would be, I would need to run off like, oh man, I'm making my red sauce for dinner. I need a bottle of wine, but I'm going to get a Bulldog ramen to eat tomorrow as my treat.
You always need to have a treat.
I have to be really motivated. I'm very food motivated.
You're like, the only way I'm going to do this is if I get a treat. Little treat.
And I'm like a dog whose owner always has to have like a little bit of chicken on him. Because otherwise he won't leave the dog park. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He won't leave the dog park or he won't go on a walk. He'll just quit. You have to have a little bit of chicken.
Yeah. And my dog will always know when it's in your pocket, just for the record.
Oh, yes. And he will tackle you.
He will.
So I started getting them and like kind of working through them slowly but surely. And then I made it to my final boss. I was waiting for like the double spicy, like the hottest one. Okay. So it was like the last one I was going to eat. So
can I ask one more question? I'm sorry. Yeah. Are you doctoring this up a little bit?
No.
You're just eating it from the bag as is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not a true taste test.
Okay. I was just checking.
When I taste test things, you have to go pure the first time, and then you can. I'm a big fan of doctoring things up, but you got to go pure the first time.
All right.
Big believer in that. So I get the spiciest one. I put it because I was making dinner, so I went there to grab something that I needed or grab beer or something. So I put it in the pantry. My boyfriend was working that night, and he got home from work at like 3 a.m. So he gets home. I'm already asleep, right? And he's starving because he gets home at 3:30 in the morning. Opens the pantry. What does he see? Ramen. He loves ramen, right?
He's like,
he does not realize that it's like some double spicy whatever thing. So the next morning I wake up, he's asleep in bed next to me. He's not wearing a shirt, which is like not super common, like because he runs cold.
Yeah.
So like he's not usually like I got a topless sleeper. And I was like, weird.
Wow, he is like me for real.
Yeah. So I go into the bathroom, whatever. I come out and he's like sat up in bed. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And he's like, why did you buy that? And I have no idea what he's talking about. And I'm like, what did I get in trouble for? Like, did somebody steal my identity? Like, what's going on? He was like, why would you buy that? Why would you bring that in here? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, that ramen, those ramen noodles, you eat like this? He was like so upset. Mind you, I'm awake, it's like 9:30. So it's probably only been asleep a couple hours. He woke up to tell me this. And then he like gets him, goes to the bathroom, and he's literally all day just like in pain from eating this. And I was like, oh, but here's what's
it called? Bubble guts and hot snakes or whatever?
Yeah.
I know what that's like.
But the funniest part was I was like, if it was so hot, why did you keep eating it? He ate the whole bag.
Once again.
And he goes, I was so hungry, Cassidy, and this is all we had.
He is just like me for real. And also the problem is that sometimes spicy stuff tastes so fucking good.
He did say it tasted really good.
Yeah. So you want to keep eating it, even though you're literally on fire. You feel like you're in the fiery depths of hell.
Yeah.
And you want to die. But it just tastes so damn
he said
good.
He was like sweating and like didn't feel good, and he had stomach ache and heartburn. And he was like, but it tasted really good. I couldn't stop eating it. And I was like, okay, well, that's a pretty good review. And it was really good, actually. I tried it like a couple days later. But
listen, somehow, some way he still proposed to you.
Yeah, somehow I managed to work through that.
That's like actually crazy, because I would have dumped your ass. I would have been like,
I can't be with this for the rest of my life.
I would have been like, you gotta go.
I can't run this risk that she's gonna keep bringing these types of foods into my home.
Demon food into the house? What are you, crazy?
Terrifying.
Listen, I've said it once and I'll say it again for the people in the back. if there's one thing in this entire world that Cassidy J. Liston will never exaggerate on, it is how much she can handle spicy food.
Yeah.
Because it is actually insane.
It's the most like pick me thing about me, and I'm not even actually doing a pick me thing. It's I genuinely enjoy spice and like
and the spiciest of the spice that's ever existed. And you're just like, yum. I'm like, what do you mean? That's a ghost pepper.
Yeah, all the time I'll be eating something, I'll be like, ooh, this is a little hot. And Andrew, my fiance, will be like, oh, can I try it? And he'll literally take a bite. This happened 2 days ago. I forgot. I had this ghost pepper hot sauce that I put on pizza. So I ordered this pizza and I got it with shredded chicken and white onion. And then I put this ghost pepper, Indian ghost pepper hot sauce. So it was kind of like a Thai. I really want a Thai curry pizza, but it was closed. So I had to get creative with it. And so I had and it was perfect, right? And so I'm eating the leftovers the next day, and I already had put the hot sauce all over it. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to cool off. And my fiance walks over and picks up the piece of pizza. And before he takes a bite, I go, I already put hot sauce on that. And he goes, I can handle heat. Takes the biggest bite, starts chewing, puts it down, and is like, like, you know, when you're like trying to breathe through your teeth to like cool it down. I don't know why that's like nature's AC for your mouth, is breathing through your teeth.
I know what it's like.
And he's like coughing and stuff. And he was like, you just casually eating that on the couch, huh? And I was like, yeah.
No, you get wild with it.
It's my Melinda's hot sauce. Melinda, if there's one sponsor I could beg for, is Melinda's hot sauce.
Get her on the horn.
Get Melinda on the horn.
Melinda, we need you.
She sponsors my favorite TikToker sometimes, and every episode I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I get so excited for him and for her. I'm like, collaboration of the year, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be you.
If only. See, I need to start doing more food content.
You need to be doing more video. We just talked about this. Cassidy doesn't want to be an influencer. But
I don't see why anybody would find it interesting to watch me do anything.
Well, you know how you find it interesting when your favorite TikToker is eating hot sauce? Maybe other people will find it interesting if you did
You probably know him. Jake from Roll for Sandwich.
Yes.
I love Roll for Sandwich.
Yeah, I know that. I think I know it from you.
Yeah, I watch it. He comes out with an episode every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I watch it every single time.
Yeah.
So good. I love his content.
It is really bizarre that we like to watch people do things.
I mean, isn't that what TV is? Like, I've been watching Degrassi and it's not even like, I literally can't turn it off.
I love Degrassi. Wait, how far did you get?
I think we just finished season 3.
Okay. Oh, you got pretty far.
Yeah. Oh, we watched it all day. That's all we watched for like a whole 15 hours.
So you know Craig?
Yes, I hate him.
Okay, well, the actor Craig.
Oh, sorry. I don't equate hating the actors to hating the characters, for the record. I'm not one of those people.
He played.
I hate he cheated on my girl, Ashley.
Yeah, no, of course.
And Ashley is my girl. I get down with Ashley.
Craig is scum. Absolutely. Clearly. But Jake Epstein, who is the actor, I actually met because he was in Spring Awakening and he was fantastic.
So I'm actually really shocked. There's a couple kids on the show. I'm assuming they were all young.
They were all the ages that they were playing.
Well, like, there's no way that Manny girl was actually 14.
No, I think she was.
Because like when they said she was 14, I was like, what are we doing here?
Okay. I could be wrong, but I'm like pretty fucking positive that they were all the actual ages that they were playing.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that's
like
how
they grew up with
Skins was supposed to be, right?
And like they were in the show for years and years and years, and they were like aging as it was kind of going on.
I very shocked because some of them, like Craig's a good actor.
Yeah. Spinner. Love Spinner.
Spinner is a good actor. He like just plays that character perfectly.
So perfect.
I
love Paige. I'm a Paige stan. I know.
Paige is really hit or miss for me because I love that she's a messy bitch who loves drama, because same. Yeah. She can't keep a secret to save her life.
I think that's why I like her.
I love
reminds
Emma.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The environmentalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah. She's kind of like I would say she's like one of the most popular characters of that
really
whole show,
okay,
in my opinion, because she's on it for a very long time.
I like her. I love the goth girl.
The goth girl is the redhead.
Redhead. love her. Ellie.
Yeah.
Love her. But there's a couple people. Ellie looks like one of my nieces, so I'm a little partial to her.
Oh, she does.
Right? Like, I'm
yeah.
like, oh, I could see this being my niece, like, in a couple years.
I can't wait until you just, like, get further on and you are introduced to, like, a bunch of new characters and stuff, because I've seen every season.
The chaos of the show is that they introduce characters and that just disappear for like 20 episodes. Not even like 1 or 2, like 20 episodes you don't see from this person and you're like, oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah. Also JT, one of my faves.
JT is probably my favorite. But yeah, I a couple of them are really good actors, and I was really surprised to see really none of them have been in any, like, Drake is the only famous one who's still famous.
Yeah, Drake, and then you'll get to her later on, but Nina Dobrev is in Degrassi, and she's pretty famous now. She's married to Shaun White.
Oh.
And she acts a lot. She was in Vampire Diaries. She's the lead in Vampire Diaries.
Okay, but a bunch of shows I've never seen. So
yeah.
I'm like, that name sounds familiar, but being married to Shaun White makes sense, because I think I've seen her on, like, them on TikTok together.
Yeah, but she's
like a brunette.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But yeah, I was like really shocked that more of these kids aren't famous.
No, they're really not. A lot of them stopped acting.
I mean, stopped acting or stopped getting work, or a lot of them are just in like not that, like in like Hallmark movies, like Canadian version of Hallmark movies.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Is like,
I'm sorry,
you could only be. I remember when I was 13 years old, maybe I was even younger. I might have been 12, 11, and I was watching Degrassi for the first time, and I was like, I need to be on this show, because I wanted to be an actor back then.
Only and Canadians.
You could only do it if you were Canadian, and I was so upset because I was like, I think I would kill this.
Yeah, it's a big cast and they're all kids, so like half of them just suck terribly, but it's charming because you can tell they're an actual child. But some of those kids are good, and I'm like really confused why they didn't get more work.
I can't imagine like the brain, what my brain would do watching Degrassi for the first time now, because like I watched it when I was like 11.
Yeah, I'd seen episodes when I was younger, but it was too racy. My parents were really conservative.
It is very racy.
Yeah, like a 14-year-old gets an abortion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, but I know I'm coming up to the Drake getting paralyzed episode, and I'm really looking forward to that.
You shouldn't be.
Why? I remember once you told me it's the saddest episode that's ever aired on television, and I told my fiance that, who has also seen every episode, and he was like, oh my God, what's wrong with her?
Okay, you'll see.
The first disagreement.
You'll see, Cassidy. I stand by it, and I think you're gonna be sorely mistaken.
Yeah, I do like.
Unless I'm wrong about.
I have a feeling you're wrong.
What happens in that one? Unless it happens later.
I think
it's the same episode.
I don't think anyone dies. I think it's just he gets.
Can I Google this without you looking?
Sure.
Because I need to make sure that I'm thinking of the same episode.
But I do like Drake's character, Jimmy. He always stands up for the gay one, and I like that.
He does.
Yeah.
It's so weird that that's Drake.
It's so weird. They introduce him just Aubrey Graham. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, the episode I'm thinking of happens at the end of season 6 or the middle of season 6. Oh,
that's not the same, because Drake gets shot in season 4.
Okay, not the same. So the one I was talking about is the saddest episode of TV.
Okay.
So when you get to season 6,
I hope it's Manny dying. I hate her. She's my least favorite character. She's so mean to all of her friends constantly. And then I found out that she has 2 parents who love her and support her. She isn't even acting like this because she has a bad home life. Like, I was like, maybe she's got like a real bad home life. You know what I mean? Because she like does that like weird transformation where she like doesn't wear any underwear and is like trying to.
Oh, and then the thong.
The thong,
dude. When she was wearing her G-string all the way out of her pants, like that, I was like, I need to do that at 11 years old.
Terrible. But yeah, like she's such a bad friend to Emma all of the time. Even though Emma's a pretty good friend to her, Emma
is a good friend.
She is so mean to JT. Mm-hmm. She like leads him on, and then
JT loves her,
and then ditches him for some older guy who doesn't even like her. And then she like actively pursues Craig, despite knowing that he has a girlfriend. She literally falls in love with him because he sings a song about how in love he is with his girlfriend.
Yeah,
like, you're evil.
Yeah, but there's a redemption. Okay,
I doubt it.
There is.
I don't want to speak too soon. She could do the coolest thing ever. Like, she got an abortion. That's really cool. I liked that. I was like, thank God. She finally does something redeemable.
I know. Cassidy sent in our group chat with Kate that she hates Manny, and me and Kate were like, oh, but come on.
No, she's the worst. She gives like Cassie from
Euphoria,
who is also the worst pick me bitch in the world. And we hate a pick me bitch.
I know. She was 14, maybe.
No, I know, but I'm judging all these 14-year-olds on a singular layer of being 14. So
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
I'm putting myself in the position of being a student at Degrassi High.
As you progress into the show, I'm just curious how things will evolve for you.
Well, like, I didn't really get the whole Sean and Emma were a bad... Sorry, we're just talking about Degrassi now.
I don't care.
Sean and Emma were a bad couple.
They were.
And like the thing about like Spinner and Paige, they are both at certain points the most annoying and also the most redeemable characters.
I love
them. So I think that's why they're the perfect couple, because like depending on the episode, you either hate one of them or you love one of them.
They're one of those toxic couples that I love.
Like when he's like super homophobic to my boy, I was like, we gotta.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's just so crazy.
I was like, we gotta kill this guy. And then the craziest part is the episode ends with him like getting gay bashed, and then and Spinner like doesn't care. And then this is how every episode of Degrassi ends. It just ends with a weird pause on whatever conversation is happening, and then a fade out, and then the next episode starts, and they don't address what happened in the last episode at all.
No, they don't.
Just completely move on. No issue.
Wait, you're talking about Marco, right?
Marco, yeah. I love Marco.
Love Marco.
He's such a little cutie. He was one I was very surprised again. I'm like, he's not in anything? Like, not in anything I've heard of, at least?
I need to do a rewatch, I think.
Throw it on. It's on Roku TV, everybody. Let's all rewatch it together.
Yeah, you're really making me want to watch it, because I fucking loved it when it was on TV.
It's one of those shows that's so cheesy and like bad, but also really good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I even watched like the Next Generation ones that were out when I was in my 20s.
See, I feel like I just feel like modern day, you can't capture that essence.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But
something real special about that like 2002 energy.
Yeah, but sometimes like you just miss, like you're like, I just want to know like what those characters are up to.
That's me with the Buffy reboot. I'm like, I know it's probably gonna suck, but I just love, to quote Amanda Montell, I just love to be in that world so much that I feel like I'm of course gonna watch it. And
I did see Sarah Michelle Gellar post about it, and I was like, ee!
Oh my, the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah. She posted it said like Buffy Summers, and she was at the table read, and I was like,
and did you see who the girl they cast for like the lead?
No.
She looks just like I'm assuming they haven't like revealed like who she is, but I'm assuming she has to be playing Buffy's daughter, because she looks like she could be Sarah Michelle Gellar's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay, if anybody, I think I might have already mentioned this on the podcast, but if anyone is a Buffy fan, which I know a lot of you bitches are.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are on Audible. I don't know. I'm assuming it's available other places, but I use Audible. I'm gonna have to clue you into something that's gonna change your friggin' life.
Your friggin' wife, princess.
To quote Amanda, this is gonna change your friggin' life. So it's called Slayers, a Buffyverse story.
Ooh.
And it is narrated. It's an audio drama basically, and Amber Benson is one of the people who helped create it and write it. But it has Charisma Carpenter, Amber Benson, James Charles Leary, Emma Caulfield Ford, Juno Dawson, Layla Delone Harris, Anthony Stewart Head, Juliet Landau, James Marsters, and Danny Strong, all in it. And it's so good, and it's set in they accidentally do like a universe slip, and our girl Cordelia is the Slayer.
Love it.
It's so good. I was obsessed with it. It has so many of your favorite characters in it. And I mean, it like you close your eyes and you're just like, you feel like you're in the Buffy universe. It's so good.
Charisma Carpenter, email me back.
Charisma Carpenter, we love you. You're so beautiful and perfect.
Email me back. I'm begging you.
Oh, but yeah, so everyone clock in, get on the Buffyverse.
I love
so
that.
Good. Well, how about we talk about some people who have clocked in? They've clocked in, they've locked in.
I was going to say, they're clocked, they're locked.
They're locked, they're loaded.
They're stuck.
And they're stuck, yeah. And let's welcome some of our new cool kids.
Yes.
All right, so welcome to Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Welcome to Elliot R.
Hi, Elliot.
Welcome to Shayna S.
Hi, Shayna.
Welcome to Jessica R.
Hello, Jessica.
Welcome to Abe B.
Hello, Abe.
And thank you to Carrie H for editing up your subscription to the whole year.
Wow, lots of cool kids this week.
Lots of cool kids this week. You love to see it.
We do.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. We hope you're enjoying all of that fun bonus content. I'm trying to decide. You guys should actually let us know if you want to have me and Amanda cover that new documentary about the girl missing on the cruise ship.
Oh, the Amy Bradley disappearance?
Because I have a lot of big feelings about it.
We can cover it.
But I'm like, I don't even know if it's interesting enough to... I don't know if people would care. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of an old case, and I don't know if there's anything in the documentary that like really stuck out. I have a lot of, like I said, I have a lot of big feelings about it, but I don't know if people would even like to hear them. So
I have a feeling they would, if I had to guess.
Hey, listen, I put a lot of big feelings into my documentary recaps, and they've only gotten mad at me once. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good record I got so far.
And it was recent. So.
And it was recent, yeah. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. And I also wanted to say thank you to Blair R, who bought us some beers and said, yesterday, my boyfriend and I completed an Ironman, his first, my second. Oh my gosh, you guys are badass. And when he finished and I met him at the finish line, he proposed. Oh my gosh.
Shut the fuck up.
Congratulations. Blair, you've been listening for a long time too.
Oh my God. At the finish line?
Yes.
I'm gonna cry.
My dad held onto the ring the entire 16.5 hours my now fiance was racing.
That is so cute.
So please have some celebratory drinks on me. Fun fact, I found you guys 2 years ago when I was training for my first Ironman, and you still helped me get through those long runs. Love you both and all that you do, Blair.
I'm going to cry.
That's so sweet, Blair. I'm so happy for you.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I guess speaking of congratulations, we can roll on the engagement train.
Some of our besties got engaged.
Yes. Our cool kids, our listeners, people that we have hung out with before, CK and B, got engaged.
Congratulations, guys.
I'm so excited.
They are like, we just love them. They're such a sweet couple.
We hope that you guys are going to be at Midsummer Scream.
Oh, yes.
So we can hang out and celebrate.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I can dissociate again.
Exactly. Like you always do. And then also really quick, it is a fellow Leo and cool kid's birthday. I think.
Oh, I already know.
Tomorrow.
I already know.
Our lawyer,
Stephanie, who just had Haunted Helen.
Yes, who we absolutely adore. So happy birthday, Queen.
Happy birthday.
We hope you have the best day ever.
You were looking banging on your Instagram story.
Always looking banging.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Slaying,
as the Slayers would say.
As the Slayers, the Buffy Slayers
exactly.
would say.
You can always get a call back.
Full circle.
You can always get a call back. Well, thank you guys so much. We can only do this podcast because of people like you, and that's why we love to celebrate you guys so much. And we hope that you appreciate us as much as we appreciate you, because it is a whole heck of a lot.
It's really, truly a lot.
It is. If you would like to join our Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/drinkingthekool-aid. If you are not in a financial place to give $5 a month to us, that is totally fine. You can do something super easy, cheap, and actually free. And that is giving us a 5-star review wherever you listen, and maybe a few places you don't.
We love free.
We love free. But either way, we're just happy you're here, and thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. But what I was going to say is, I know you wanted to talk about the statements made at the Idaho 4 witness impact.
Okay. The way I got chills all the way up my body, I started immediately crying when the sister of one of them was speaking to him. Now, this is, if you guys haven't listened, please go listen. But this is where you can use your mean girl abilities for good.
Well, did you see the dad's statement too?
I didn't.
Okay, so both of them were very like in the same vein of like calling him a loser and like whatever. And I feel like this is my guess. I think they talked to like a therapist or a psychoanalyst or somebody, and were like, what is the way we can get to him and get under his skin the most? Because it was like very like coordinated. And I love that. I think that you should. Because
it's not like, a lot of the time people, when they give impact statements, they're emotional, they're crying, rightfully so. But this one was like, you're fucking pathetic. You're a loser.
Oh, my favorite part was when she said, so this is Kaylee's sister who said this. My favorite part was when she said, the worst part about this is just how average you are.
Yes.
Like,
how
yes,
average
queen.
you are. And then when she said, if you hadn't snuck in and murdered them in their beds like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. And then she walked off. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. So her name was Olivia.
I'm sorry, but talk about making a fucking impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I think the impact statement thing means different things to different people, because like she wanted to speak to him and make him feel like a piece of shit, right? But then like
because he is.
Of course, but then there are other people, like one of the roommates also did a victim impact statement, and she just really like went through how actually like traumatizing and terrifying it was for her, and like how her life has been so hard since. And obviously like that's something that like he doesn't give a shit about you.
No, not
you know
at
what I
all.
mean? But that's something that, like she needed to do for herself. Like that wasn't about him.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm saying like I think both are totally valid, and it's all about like you have your moment. What's gonna be like affirming for you.
Absolutely. I mean, like the whole time I was watching The Sister, I was just like, because you know me, I would be hysterical. I would not be able to get words out probably. But the impact that her statement had on me, I was just like, if anything's going to get to this man, if anything, because he's obviously a psychopath and a horrible human being, calling him small, worthless, pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, yes. I don't know. It just really it struck.
You should
a chord
watch
with me.
the Dad Steve statement
I
too.
would love. I just have to give them so many props.
But yeah, I know. Amanda was like, "This is the one thing I want to bring up before."
I know, and it's like I wish we could honestly like play it on the podcast.
It's very easy to
sure
find if you
can't.
just look up Kaylee's sister's statement on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, anywhere. It's everywhere.
I hope he fucking rots in hell for all eternity.
All right, so today I'm going to be talking about a story. I told Amanda, I was like, "You're going to love my story. Your husband would hate it."
Love it.
Which means she'll extra love it. And I'm going to be talking about Edgar Cayce.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head. Maybe if I hear more, I will.
I'm actually surprised I didn't know more about this, and then I randomly came across it and was like, whoa, how have I not heard about this? Okay. So my sources today were a bunch of New York Times articles like from the early 1900s. Edgar Cayce's biography, There Is a River, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast, and of course, Wikipedia.
All right. I'm strapped in. I'm locked in.
Lock in, baby. All right. So Edgar Cayce was born on March 18th, 1877 in rural Kentucky. So his family were farmers. They lived in a really small town. Everybody was like very Christian. One of those towns where it's like there's three things to do, and it's like the post office, work, or church.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually kind of not an outcast, but he was different than the other kids. Like he was very, very serious about his faith from a very young age. He was like really into it. So when he wasn't working with his family or doing something for school, he was, volunteering at the church to clean the pews and to help take care of things around the church and pick weeds and whatever he needed to do.
Okay.
And if he didn't have anything to do, he was usually reading the Bible like all of the time. He was always seen with a Bible in his hand. And he would go even out into the woods and pray in the woods so that he could like be alone and just like read the Bible by himself. It's like kind of giving like that movie Devil All the Time.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Like knock 'em stiff.
Yeah. Couldn't be me.
No, me either. I mean, I don't know.
You have read the Bible multiple times.
I have read the Bible, yes.
And so is my husband.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why my husband is going to hate it? Because it's like about religion?
No, worse.
Oh.
So he is this super religious kid, prays all the time, all about church, whatever. And allegedly, as the story goes, when he was 13 years old, he was outside of his house looking at that old Bible, waiting for his mom to come out and tell him like what chores he needed to do that day or whatever he needed to do. And he is suddenly shocked to see a figure appear before him. And the figure was shrouded in light. And he said that he could feel this is from his biography, he could feel the shadow of wings over him.
Ooh, I love these kind of stories.
And obviously he believes is an angel.
Yeah.
So he looks up at this angel, obviously very shocked. And the angel allegedly basically asks him, like, okay, what's like the one thing that you want out of life? Like, what's the thing that you want?
It's like a genie.
Kind of.
It's like, what? All right, give me your 3 wishes.
And he says, I would like to help cure the sick, specifically children. Like, that's something I would like to achieve in my lifetime.
What a nice kid.
So he says that to her, or it, them, they, I don't know what an angel identifies as. That actually is a great philosophical question. It, I think, would be the thing. It just disappears. And for a minute, he thought he was like losing his mind. But then he goes and talks to his mom.
Sorry, how old was he?
13.
Okay.
So he goes and talks to his mom, and his mom is like, no, you're actually being like rewarded for being such like a good, devout kid. You got to see an angel. This is something that happens in the Bible quite a bit.
Oh, the mom was just like on board.
Yeah. Oh, the mom was all about it.
Okay. Like, show me Rachel.
So the next day he goes to school, and he's like obviously kind of whacked out of his head because of this whole seeing an angel situation.
Just a little crazy.
And when he goes to take his spelling test, he is completely illiterate. He can't spell any of these very simple words that he's being asked to spell. And remember, this is a kid who spends all day, every day fucking reading the Bible. So clearly he can read normally.
Yeah.
And so he gets in trouble at school because they think that he's just acting out and like pretending like he can't do his homework.
Okay.
So he gets in trouble at school, and when he gets home, his dad is pissed because he got in trouble at school. So his dad is like, you're going to study at the table until I say it's okay and you can leave the table. So he's like studying at the table. He's exhausted. He ends up falling asleep on the book. And when his dad comes and wakes him up and is pissed that he fell asleep, he can suddenly do everything that was in the book.
Okay.
Like he knows all the words that were in this book that he fell asleep on, whatever.
So it's like it went through his brain?
Yes. Dude, I wish I had whatever this is.
I was going to say, that's
about to be.
Actually sick.
This is me listening to my little audiobooks as I go to sleep. But all my audiobooks are not educational. They're just spooky.
Would love to just put my hand on my computer and have all the knowledge of the story I'm about to tell.
Right? Would really make our lives a lot easier and faster. So he's like, whoa, that was crazy. I suddenly knew all this information that was in these workbooks. And so he starts sleeping on other workbooks and then having his mom or his dad quiz him after he wakes up, and he knows all of the information in these books. And so
I'm actually jealous right now.
So this makes him like a little bit of like a town celebrity because they like read an article about him in the local newspaper. And obviously this is like a crazy thing. In 1883, his family actually moves to the nearby small town of Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
No
fucking
way.
But
you guys know how much I love
Hopkinsville. Ugh. That ties into Greg and Dana. That ties into the goblins. That ties into Hellier.
If you guys don't know.
If you know, you know.
You gotta know.
Moves to Hopkinsville. And he actually ends up dropping out after 8th grade because his parents can't afford to send him to high school.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But he doesn't let that slow him down. He only has an 8th grade education, sure. But he ends up getting engaged a few years later in 1897 to a woman named Gertrude Evans.
Okay.
And he actually accepts a job as a photography apprentice in a nearby town.
Okay. So he gets engaged pretty young.
Yeah. They're like both 16 or 17 or whatever.
Got it.
But she's also very devout Christian like him.
Yeah. Well, you gotta be.
You gotta be. You know, equally yoked, as the Christians like to say. He starts this photography apprentice job. He's going back to Hopkinsville like pretty regularly because his fiance still lives there. Can't live together before marriage. Hello, Christian. And in the year 1900, he suddenly experiences like a medical crisis. Doctors can't explain what's wrong with him, but he loses his ability to speak.
Okay, so he already lost his ability to read.
Well, he got smart again when he started sleeping on the books.
Right.
But he can't speak above like a hoarse whisper like this. And like it's, you know, it's painful and it's hard to listen to. And because of this, he's actually working at this as a photography apprentice, and he was working his way up to the actual photography part. So he's working in sales, and he loses his job because if you can't talk, you can't sell stuff.
Dang.
Yeah. After about a year of having no ability to speak, he actually goes to a show for a hypnotist whose name is Hart the Laugh King.
Okay.
And when Hart finds out about his condition, he decides to try and hypnotize Edgar to cure him.
Okay.
So Hart the Laugh King says, if you give me $200, I will try and cure you. And if I fail, I will give you the money back.
Okay. I was going to say, sounds like a scammer.
Yeah. So he does it. He hypnotizes him. And when he's under the hypnosis, he can speak more regularly. It's not exactly his regular voice, but he can speak more normally. And he has his dad with him in the room just to make sure there's no funny business. Like he hypnotizes him and then like runs or something.
Okay.
But once he wakes up, he tries to go speak and his voice is stunted again and he can't speak. So multiple different hypnotizers, I don't know, hypnotists hear about this and they're like, well, I could use $200. I bet I could fix him. And so they start showing up in droves to this town. And over like a 2-week span, he gets hypnotized like 100 times.
I mean, I would also jump in on this.
Yeah. And it's like so traumatizing to his brain that he literally like can't eat, he can't sleep. He like loses like 15 pounds in like 10 days because he's like so like mentally exhausted from getting hypnotized all of this time. And so the final time is this guy named Al Lane. And he's like, listen, I'll let you hypnotize me. Edgar says this. But the thing is, when I'm getting hypnotized, I just choose to fall into the trance. Like they're not actually doing anything. So I'm going to hypnotize myself. And then you try to work out what's actually wrong with my throat. And Al is like, okay, if that's what you want, let's do it.
So and Al's like, I'm a true hypnotist.
Yeah. And so Edgar actually hypnotizes himself into a trance. And once he gets into the trance state, Lane said that he could tell Edgar was out because he started breathing differently and like nothing, you know, he's clapping in front of his face and stuff, and nothing is waking him up or rousing him. And this is when Lane decides to start actually asking questions to Edgar about what's wrong with his throat.
Okay.
Which nobody else had done.
And he's under the hypnosis.
Yes.
Okay.
So he asks him, he's like, Edgar, what is wrong with your throat? And once he asks them that, Edgar starts replying in a normal voice saying that there's something wrong with his throat and it's actually his vocal cords are paralyzed from a nerve issue that could be fixed by having more blood flow into his throat.
Okay.
And this is when his father, Lane, and his fiance all claim that they watched in amazement as his neck flushed red as if a bunch of blood fled into the area. And then he suddenly woke up. So when he woke up, the first thing he did was ask for a tissue and he spit up a blood clot and then began to speak normally and his voice was back to normal.
So was this Al guy Jesus?
Well, Al Lane is like, okay, that was fucking crazy. I wonder if he could do this to help diagnose and cure other people. Or if it's just to himself, because he just diagnosed and then cured himself. And also he was like saying all these words that were like really scientific and like medical. That once again, he dropped out of school in 8th grade.
So Al had nothing to do with this.
Al was just like the vessel that was asking him questions, like finally asked him the right questions. Al was like, okay, maybe we could use this to diagnose and cure other people. And they actually had the perfect opportunity to try it out when a few days later, Al Lane got sick. He was having horrible stomach pains. Nothing the doctors were giving him was helping. And he was like, you know what? This is, once again, a great opportunity for me to test out this thing with Edgar.
Sounds like whatever that angel was is doing this on purpose.
He goes over to Edgar's house and he's like, hey, would you be willing to go into a trance again and let me ask questions about my health this time? And Edgar's like a little nervous because he's thinking, okay, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to give anybody bad advice. But if you're saying the doctors can't help you, I guess what could it hurt? He goes into the trance And when Edgar wakes up, he's like, so did it help? Like, what happened? And Al Lane is showing him, he had been writing down everything that Edgar said. And Edgar's literally looking at this page being like, I can't even understand what these words are because they're such big medical words.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he perfectly diagnosed and gave a treatment plan to Lane that worked and cured him.
So his wish came true.
We'll see.
So
after his wedding to his beloved in 1903,
his beloved,
Edgar actually began going into trances to diagnose and cure patients in conjunction with Al Lane. Like I said, he was really scared at first. He was afraid that he was going to give someone bad advice or hurt them. But he also thought that his strange year where he couldn't speak was actually a punishment from God for not using his skills to help people like he had asked the angel of. So his way of dealing with this kind of like guilt or weirdness or whatever was he said, I don't want to be paid for doing this. I want to do this for free. I'm supposed to help people. Lane, you can open an office and make sure we get enough money to like keep it running, but I do not want to make money off of this. So he starts diagnosing people and for the most part helping them. People are coming in and he's like going into his trance state. Al's asking questions and he's answering them and these people are getting treatments and it's making them feel better. The first really serious case that he has is of a young girl who had actually been sick for years. She was having convulsions, a lingering mysterious illness, and she was much smaller than she should have been for her age because she had been sick for like 3 or 4 years. So she like didn't eat properly and she was, just frail. So he goes into his trance. The dad is like begging, like, please do this, please do this. He actually goes over to their house to do it because she's so sick. He goes into his trance. And when they start to ask, Edgar says, well, she fell out of a carriage. You guys didn't know this, but she fell out of a carriage when she was small and she hurt her spine badly. And because of this, that injury got infected. And that is what is causing all of this like lingering illness of her being like frail and not growing right and having this like ongoing infection. Like basically she has an undiagnosed infection in her spine. So it's causing her to have convulsions and to not grow correctly and to have this kind of like lingering illness. And sure enough, with his diagnosis of treatment, he said that like the bottom of her spine needed to be massaged with like this certain type of like oil. And because they were like trying to get blood flow back into the part of the spine or whatever. And sure enough, after the treatment, 3 months later, she was developing normally. She was back in school with her classmates and she was not convulsing anymore.
After years of her being sick.
Yeah.
That's wild.
He still refused to accept any money for this. And he actually was working at a bookstore for cash, because he wasn't making any money off of this. So he was making actually like not very much at all, even at the bookstore. He just worked at a bookstore. And whenever he was asked, oh, are you a spiritualist? Are you this? Are you that? He was like, nope, I'm just a Christian who's blessed.
I mean, just saying that is what Teresa Caputo says. But everyone says she's a fucking faker. So
lots of different organizations, schools, doctors did test on him to see if he actually was awake. Maybe he was faking being asleep. And so he was like, somehow getting information when he's like supposed to be in his trance.
How would he get that information?
Some people were thinking maybe he was secretly a doctor and he was like lying about this, but no, it was confirmed that he dropped out of school in the 8th grade.
I was going to say that motherfucker is a school dropout.
Yeah. But because he could do these things accurately, most people were like, yeah, I mean, we don't know how to explain this. At one point, he accurately reported somebody's pulse without even touching them. He went to a medical school and accurately diagnosed 3 different patients that the doctors witnessed him diagnose. They were like, yes, that's the accurate diagnosis. At one point, a group of doctors actually, while he was like in his trance, went and were like poking him and prodding him with like needles and stuff to see if he was faking being in the trance, but nothing affected him until he woke up, and then he was like, ow, what the fuck? Like, what did you do? Well, he probably didn't say fuck, but you know what I mean?
Maybe he did.
Maybe.
Well, he's a devout Christian, so probably not.
And then at like a certain point, he was like, you know what? I'm not going to try and prove myself anymore. Like, this is not the point. I'm literally just going to keep helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that obviously like says a lot that he wasn't asking for money or anything.
So Wesley Ketchum, who did a study and a write-up on Edgar, and I'm just going to read like a quick little paragraph that he wrote about him, said, quote, I next give him the name of my subject and the exact location of the same, and in a few minutes he begins to talk as clearly and distinctly as anyone. He usually goes into minute detail in diagnosing a case, and especially if it is a very serious case. His language is usually of the best, and his psychologic terms and descriptions of the nervous anatomy would do credit to any professor of nervous anatomy, and there is no faltering in his speech, and all of his statements are clear and concise. He handles the most complex jawbreakers with as much ease as any Boston physician, which to me is quite wonderful, in view of the fact that while in his normal state, he's almost an illiterate man, especially along the lines of medicine, surgery, or pharmacy, of which he knows absolutely nothing. So this guy's like pretty shocked. And he wrote like a whole big thing. You can find it it's literally on his Wikipedia. You can read it all. But like, I thought that the end part was really interesting because he's like, yeah, he literally speaks with the confidence and the know-it-allness and the big words and all the stuff that you would expect from like some guy who went to Harvard.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who
dropped out in eighth
grade and can barely read the Bible. You know what I mean?
Can literally barely read.
Yeah. So at this point, Edgar's like, okay, we need to figure out how to like make this happen. And he really wants to open a hospital because he was afraid that he was going to give people advice and they wouldn't be able to follow through with the advice that he gave them, or they wouldn't know how to do the treatments that he was giving them.
Okay.
So he was like, if we just open a hospital, they can get diagnosed and also treated right here.
Yeah, but he would have to be the sole like doctor.
Diagnoser.
Even though he's not a doctor.
Yeah. So his plan for this was, well, if I can diagnose people, I must be able to figure out where oil is. So he went to Texas with like his savings and decided he was going to try and figure out where the oil was under Texas. But after 3 years, he was flat broke and hadn't found a single oil field.
Edgar, your specialty is going under hypnosis and saving people's lives. And that's it.
Well, somebody said in one of the articles that I read that maybe it was just because he could only use his powers to help people, not help himself.
Right. Real.
Or not gain riches.
Yeah.
Because that's not very godly.
No, not at all.
At this point, more and more people are getting interested in these alleged skills that Edgar has.
I'm interested.
He actually gets approached by a bunch of different like psychologists and people who are into like metaphysics and stuff like that. At one point, he actually decides to go under his trance and talk to somebody named Arthur Lammers, who was a student of metaphysics, who asked him a bunch of questions about like, what is a soul? And like, that was the first question he asked, like, what is a soul? And he just replies, I don't know, read the Bible. But then when he starts asking him more specific questions, he gets answers about reincarnation, about the existence of Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
About all sorts of things, which is strange because, like I said, Edgar was a big like proponent of I am not a spiritualist, I'm not anything, I'm strictly a Christian, and this is all against Christianity.
Which once again, people say is not real.
Yeah.
So, Edgar.
So one time under this hypnosis, he tells Arthur Lammers, quote, in this we see the plan of development of those individuals set upon this plane, meaning the ability to enter again into the presence of the Creator and become a full part of that creation. Insofar as this entity is concerned, this is the third appearance on this plane, and before this one, as the monk. We see glimpses in the life of the entity now as we are shown in the monk, in this mode of living. The body is only the vehicle ever that the spirit and soul that waft through all times and ever remain the same.
So they're saying he is God.
No, he's saying he's reincarnated. well, he's basically saying we are all God, which is, that's like a Buddhist thing, like the collective consciousness. We are all one, and we are but nothing of spirit moving from body to body as we are reincarnated, basically. So after this, he actually kind of opened his own mind even to more of like a, not hippy dippy, but like kind of, more of a spiritual way of thinking versus like strict Christianity, like the Bible is the only thing, right?
Yeah.
And after that, he also started working with this really rich guy named Blumenthal, who was like obsessed with him, who Blumenthal had been healed by him. And so he really trusted him. And they had also had some like spiritual conversations while Edgar was under his chillin' spell or whatever. That is why he helps him open up, he pays for it and helps him open up a hospital in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Virginia Beach. I was gonna say Blumenthal just sounds like the most rich
classic rich guy name. Yeah. So they have like a whole board of directors, and they're bringing people in, they're diagnosing them, they're treating them right there in the hospital. It was kind of more like a big like house than like a traditional hospital, but that was also kind of the point. Like it wasn't supposed to feel like a really sterile, like lifeless place.
Yeah.
It was because it was for more than just physical healing, like mental healing and all that stuff too.
It was supposed to feel like home.
Exactly. But unfortunately, when the stock market crashes in the 1930s, Blumenthal and the rest of the board of the hospital vote to close the hospital because they just can't keep up with the costs anymore. Everything was too expensive. We were going through a recession, sounds familiar.
I was gonna say, we know how that is.
And to make matters worse, later that year, in November of 1931, he also got arrested.
Edgar got arrested?
Yeah, in the funniest way possible. He was actually like on vacation with his wife, and he like got a letter or like a telegram or whatever the fuck you got in 1931. And they were like, hey, there's two girls. One of them is like really sick, like deathly ill. Would you be willing to do a house call now that the hospital is closed? And Edgar's like, I have to do it, like whatever. And his wife is like, yes, do what you need to do. And so he goes and he puts himself in a trance. And then when he wakes up, he's handcuffed because the two women were cops. They tricked him.
Okay, but I'm sorry, why did he get arrested?
So he was arrested for fraud, and the technical term for what he was charged with was fortune telling.
But he seems legit.
So
it sounds like those fucking cops were fucking haters.
I have no idea. Maybe somebody reported him. I don't know. Obviously, there were some people who thought this whole thing was just a scam. And they actually got some of his old patients and family members of patients to come together and testify in court to help him. And because he actually didn't make any money doing this, and his whole thing was like religious based, the judge actually dismissed the case and said, I don't know if this is real or not, but this is like a religious freedom thing. This has nothing to do with, he's not trying to scam these people out of money. So whatever they decide to believe, like this is a religion thing, this has nothing to do with like fraud from the government. Sorry, I was just trying to move this so I didn't fucking pull it on my foot.
Sorry, he saved a bunch of fucking lives and he didn't take any money from anybody. So in what way is he scamming?
Well, there were like some people obviously who were like, he didn't cure me, or he didn't cure my family member, or whatever, right?
Well,
and so maybe it's a scam. But
a lot of people believe God is real and kids also get cancer. So I don't know what to tell you guys, okay?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's basically what the judge said. The judge was like, genuinely, I don't know if he's actually doing this or not, or if he's a crazy person, or if it's fake. But either way, since he's not really taking money from you guys, that's not like, I can't really get him for scamming.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious.
Because he's not taking money.
That's the obvious thing. How are you scamming people if you're not stealing their money? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
So this actually helped him raise money to reopen the Virginia Beach Hospital.
And he's doing good.
Yeah. So he started a nonprofit, actually. And like, so the hospital was under a nonprofit at this point. And that was also another reason that people were like, okay, he's not even, once again, like not even doing this as like a CEO or something. He's literally doing a nonprofit. And by this time he has 3 sons, 2 of whom like work with him. And through this new nonprofit, he gets really into actually doing like past life regression with people.
Okay.
And this got him even more patrons because he was not just working with sick people, he was also working to help people connect with their past lives and heal generational trauma through understanding their past lives.
I believe him.
The weird thing is that a lot of people, he said like a lot of souls, especially ones that were open to this type of stuff, actually did originate in the lost city of Atlantis.
Okay, you're going to need to cover that next week.
I literally wrote an entire story. Remember that story when I was like, I wrote this whole thing about this mystery of Atlantis and I just thought it was too boring. So I didn't.
No, let's go.
That was the story that I
fucking
wrote.
Cover it. Let's go.
But so he thought a lot of these people were from the lost city of Atlantis. And of course, naysayers would say, oh, well, of course he's going to tell them that they're special and they're from this like magical place, you know, whatever. But he also connected people with other, you know, parts of their past lives, I assume, whatever.
I don't know. I trust him.
So he actually does get arrested again in 1935. His wife and son are also arrested in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh my God.
And this time he is convicted of practicing medicine without a license.
Well,
which seems more accurate to what he's doing. Fortune telling was a little loose, fast and loose.
Listen.
Is he practicing medicine without a license? Yes, probably.
You could.
I mean, yes, he is.
You could get him on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
But once again, the judge is like, I don't know. It just kind of seems he's not like writing illegal prescriptions or something. He's just like making people drink bedbug juice and
he's
all
like
this weird stuff.
Telling people what they have and they're believing him.
Yeah.
So that's their choice, right?
So he's only given probation for that. So fast forward a few years, in 1942, the biography There Is a River, which is the one that I got a lot of this information from, is released detailing Edgar Cayce's life. And the following year, at the age of 67, he actually died and was buried in his hometown of Hopkinsville.
Hopkinsville with the goblins.
Now we have another thing to see in Hopkinsville.
Oh, so many things.
His wife died only 3 months later and was buried next to the love of her life.
Aww.
So the final year of his life was, or like at least from like June 1943 to June 1944, Edgar Cayce did 1,385 readings.
Whoa.
And this is actually a huge spike for him because there was a magazine that published a piece called Miracle Man of Virginia Beach, all about him healing people and doing the past life thing. People are really into the past life thing.
I mean, once again, he wasn't asking for money and he was seemingly only doing good in the world. So I believe him.
So let's get into the skeptics and the naysayers.
There's always the skeptics.
So there's still like kind of a popular movement around what Edgar Cayce did. There's people who believe he like basically invented this style of like Christian spiritualism, and his sons wrote multiple books about him in the 70s, and they said that his dad's powers are like downright, you know, amazing. Like he was right about 85% of the time. He was able to heal people and help people. But there's some people who say like the data that they're using is just like unreliable, and that it's probably closer to about 45% of the time, which like isn't that great if you look at the grand scheme of things.
Shut up and grow up.
And that oftentimes his advice was just common wellness and well-being tips like stretching, drinking bone broth, eating certain diets, all these certain things, and that these are just normal things people might not have known about back then that are simple, that will help deal with simple medical issues.
Well, did it work? If it worked, then shut the fuck up.
So there's some people who believe that his eldest son, would actually gather info about the people before they met and then like feed it to him, or they had like some sort of system for it.
No.
But people who are believers in Edgar Cayce are like, well, what was the point? Because he didn't even really want fame. He like didn't ever want to do interviews or do anything like that. He didn't take any money. And so there's really like, because usually people do things for one of two things, right? Like attention or money, sometimes both. And he really didn't want either. Like every time he was given an opportunity to do an interview or like get famous, he always turned it down. And every time he was given the opportunity to make a lot of money, he also always turned that down. One of the reasons he actually stopped working with that original guy was because he found out that he was only booking appointments with rich people who would pay him a lot. And Edgar Cayce was like, no, I need to heal everybody. I'm not just going to help the people who can pay you a ton of money and then you don't even have to pay me. Like, that's stupid. This should be a mostly free service.
That once again just proves to me.
Yeah.
You know?
But in like the spiritualism community, he has been credited with like opening this whole brand new section of like Christianity meets spirituality meets like and like also like kind of the blending, the meshing of ideas behind Christianity, Buddhism, esotericism and stuff, and obviously reincarnation. So a religious historian, his name was Mitch Horowitz, great last name, by the way, Horowitz. And this is from the Wikipedia, he credits Cayce with popularizing core themes of New Age spirituality, particularly the concept of religious universalism, noting in 2019, quote, Cayce's teachings sought to marry a Christian moral outlook with the cycles of karma and reincarnation central to Hindu and Buddhist ways of thinking, as well as the Hermetic concept of man as an extension of the divine. That's what we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Cayce's references to the causative powers of the mind. The spiritual is the life, the mental is the builder, and the physical is the result. Yeah. So this guy had like a way bigger impact, actually, because he got a little weird with it. You know, we're always saying get a little weird with it.
Listen.
And he seemed to have created kind of this like cool spirituality type thing that is like a way more fun version of Christianity.
Keep your minds wide open. You know what I mean?
Wide open.
I don't know. I support him. I don't think he was scamming anybody.
I don't think so either. Like, I don't know like how legit everything he did and said was, obviously, but to me, I'm like, I think he firmly believed it.
I'm just saying,
does that make sense? Like, I don't think he's scamming. I don't think you can be a scammer if you firmly believe this thing that you're putting out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that he genuinely wanted to help people, and clearly he had some sort of like, how would he just know these medical terms that people claim that he would never have known?
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest things that people say, right? Is like he was barely literate.
That's what I'm saying. So like there's something to it.
Yeah. And then like he would even read back the quotes of stuff that he said to them and be like, I don't know what this fucking says.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something to this. And I understand that people don't like to believe in things that they can't understand.
Yeah.
But
isn't the world so much a better place if there's things that we can't always understand happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
And he did help people, and that's what he wanted to do. So I support him. I love him.
I told you, I knew you'd love him. So that is the very interesting and mysterious story of Edgar Cayce.
That I've never ever heard of him. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know what I realized where I'd heard of him from. He's in my Reader's Digest book.
Of course he is.
Remember when I talked about that Mary healing like pool?
Yeah.
He's in the same section as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm not religious at all. But
me either.
For some reason, every single time there's like she saw Jesus. I'm like, yes, I believe.
Well, to me, I'm like, I feel like that's what makes this story so interesting, is that he starts out so like staunchly like, no, I'm a Christian. This is from Christ, like whatever. And then he has to start questioning his own beliefs as his trances are giving different information than what he originally, would put out there. And I do like the idea of like, yeah, the problem with most religions is that they are so isolationist. Like, why can't Muhammad and Jesus exist in the same realm? Why do we have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, why do we have to narrow everything down so much? Why can you not believe in ghosts and spiritualism and reincarnation and also believe in Jesus or believe in Muhammad or believe in, the prophet or believe in anything, really?
Yeah, that's absolutely so true.
And I think that a lot of
except for Joseph Smith.
Well, a lot of these contradictions that exist within religions are man-made. We're losing, in my opinion, like the core value, which is be good to each other, help people out, and believe that the world is inherently good because the reason that it's so amazing to think of a higher power is like, yes, the world's inherently good because it was created by a higher power that is inherently good. Like, that is what we want, right? So why does it matter what you call them or whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why do we have to be so strict about the minutia? I don't think I don't think the all-knowing being that's above us is that worried about that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Or he is, and he's like, "Excuse me,
I just get smoted.
it's me. Say my name, bitch."
He just smites me in my seat, and his name is Carl, and I'm like, fuck.
And nobody knew.
Yeah, I die, and I'm like, oh, well, who was right? Nobody. My name's Carl, bitch. I'm like, damn it. And you said bitch too? Man, I think we would have really gotten along.
Please don't smite her now.
Don't smite me. I'm about to go on vacation.
I would
Don't smite
be
me.
traumatized if you just like evaporated in
Oh,
your
if I
seat.
just, yeah. Combusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be no good.
No. All right, so we're going to finish this out with a story, which I'm honestly surprised we've never covered before.
That's how I felt about my story. I was like, how have we not covered this?
Yeah, I like looked it up. Like I, typed it into the what's it called that we have that JD made us?
Oh, JD, we love you.
Yes. Whatever that is.
Spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet to make sure that we've never covered it. Because I was like, we've had to have covered this. And it's one of, I feel like, your favorite topics.
What?
A con man.
Oh, who?
Which is kind of similar to what we just talked about. I was like, that's also a weird coincidence. But we're going to talk about the smoothest con man, allegedly, to ever live, Victor Lustig.
Okay. Drop it on me. I have no idea.
You don't know about him?
I mean, I probably will the second you mention what he
I was
does.
going to say, I think you might. But let's get into it. My sources today were one of my favorite new websites, uselessinformation.com.
That's basically just our whole podcast.
Literally, that we should rename it, frankly. Smithsonian Magazine by Jeff Maish. NewYorkAlmanac.com by Jap Harkscamp. The Hustle Daily by Catherine Laidlaw. The Jacksonville Journal by J. Mark Powell. And Wikipedia. All right, so Victor Lustig was actually born Robert Miller on January 4th, 1890 in Bohemia, Austria-Hungary.
Having an original name and then a new name, great indicator for a con man.
I was going to say, you can't have your birth name if you're a con man.
Big fan of that. Big fan of the name change for a con man.
And Victor Lustig.
So good.
Kind of hot.
Yeah.
So he grew up either entirely middle class, like lived an average life, or extremely poor, and his parents were, quote, the poorest peasants in the town. Or
sounds about right. Yeah.
His family was royalty and his father was the mayor of the town. So these are just, a couple of the different stories that Victor would say about his family throughout the years. But since he's a con man, he's a liar.
Okay.
So we don't really know what the actual truth is.
Been there, girl.
Been there, done that. I think it's most likely, like from what I was gathering, that his family was kind of your run-of-the-mill middle-class family. But Victor clearly knew, because he changed his name to Victor, that he was meant for so much more than just an average life.
Yeah, he said, I'm about to go straight to victory.
Exactly. He said, you named me Robert?
We can't deal with that. Bob?
So he was actually extremely smart, and he was able to pick things up very quickly. He was fluent in like 6 or 7 different languages, and he was very good at the violin because his dad like forced him to play the violin, and he picked it up really quickly.
Righteous. I love that.
And was just really good at it. But at a young age, he would often be seen panhandling on the street, and then eventually he went to pickpocketing.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, look how easy this is for me.
He's like, why ask them? Just take it. Just take it, the money.
Take what you want and don't ask. Ask for forgiveness later. So over time, he teaches himself how to do card tricks. So he kind of becomes this like semi-street magician, and he can do like all these sleight of hand tricks with cards, which is like,
this guy.
Yeah, something that I literally love.
Please don't tell me he murders anyone, because I love him.
Well, you'll find out.
Okay.
This is so funny because I love your guy and you're gonna love my guy.
Okay,
I think
good.
maybe. Yeah. So he would bet people for money because he could do all these tricks and he would always win because he's like super fucking good at it. And an article in True Detectives magazine claimed that he, quote, could make a deck of cards do everything but talk.
That's fun.
Yeah, so he's really good at it.
That's weirdly sexy.
Well, he might be a little sexy.
Is
I
he
don't
sexy?
know.
Do I need to see a pic?
I'll show you a pic later.
Okay.
In 1909, he's 19 years old, and he moves to Paris to continue his studies. And when he gets to Paris, he kind of continues to gamble and be a street hustler.
Yeah, that's home of the street hustle. I literally just watched this video of someone being like, I just got scammed in Paris.
Wait, I watched that too.
And she was, yeah, and everyone was like, you literally fell for that.
And she told the whole story, and everyone in the comments was like, this is the most classic
The
scam.
oldest scam in the book. It was like the find the ball, like where they put it under the thing, and obviously they hide the ball. And she was, I think he hid the ball. I don't think that's even where the ball
Yeah,
was.
no fucking shit. He hid the ball.
I won the first two. So when and I'm like, yeah, you've never heard of getting hustled? Oh my God.
And that
Open the
is-
schools.
Yeah, and that is literally what Victor
Yeah.
is known for doing. He
Open the schools.
hustles people so well. You know, he wins some, he loses some. Listen, everyone needs to fall for it at some point in their life,
Yeah.
probably. So Victor, he's really good at playing poker. He's really good at blackjack. And like I said, he's just kind of really good at hustling people for money. And also, he's known to be quite the womanizer.
Because he's sexy.
He might be a little sexy.
I'm salivating.
So he was later known for having a 1.5-inch scar down his cheek, which he got from flirting with a man's girlfriend just a little too closely when he was 19. And the man gave him the old 1-2 punch. So he had this like scar on his face for literally the rest of his life.
My dream date. And he knows that.
Cute.
Cute.
And I'm just saying, like, a scar down your cheek probably made you that much hotter.
Scars are hot.
So while he's in Paris, he met an American man named Nicky Arnstein, who was a professional gambler and a professional con artist. And fun fact about Nicky Arnstein, which really excited me personally, but this guy later became famous because he married, you know, famed actress Fanny Brice, who, for my Broadway babes, is what the musical Funny Girl is all about. And there's this famous line in the song Don't Rain on My Parade where she goes, hey, Mr. Arnstein.
It's about him.
It's about him, who's a con man, which I just thought that was so crazy.
Listen, I'd marry a con man as long as he wasn't conning me.
Exactly. As long as he really loved me.
Yeah, I'm like all about like whatever, as long as it's not me.
Exactly. But according to Victor, Nicky is kind of like the dude who taught him how to be a proper con artist.
Got it. Okay.
So Nicky shows Victor that the really rich American people would come over to Paris on these big cruise ships. And he's like, if you really want to scam people, these are the ones to go to.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So during a poker game on one of these cruises, Nicky ends up winning $30,000
Oh my gosh.
from like this, you know, stupid rich guy, kind of like what you said before. He hustled him. He lost a couple hands. He won a couple hands and overall ends up winning $30,000. So $30,000 back then was like over $1 million today.
Oh, retire.
Yeah.
Retire, my beautiful bohemian baby.
That's a lot of money. So Victor, he's watching Nicky do his thing. And of course, the dollar signs are in his eyeballs. And he's like, cha-ching, cha-ching,
Bling,
bling, bling,
bling,
bling.
bling.
And he just immediately throws himself into, you know, learning the ropes from Nicky about how to be a con artist. So after a while, Victor starts referring to himself as Count Victor Lustig, who was a nobleman from the fallen kingdom of Bohemia.
You know, that's one of the best things about fallen kingdoms. You can just start claiming whatever you want.
Yeah. And it's not like they had Google back then.
Yeah.
So like, how would anyone know?
Yeah. I gotta think of a good fallen European kingdom I can start just claiming.
So yeah, so that's what he would tell these, you know, idiot American people who didn't know any better. And he figured, like, if I tell people that I'm this nobleman and I'm Count Victor Lustig, they would be more willing to chat with like a fellow wealthy person and probably also be scammed easier.
Yeah, absolutely. But you gotta know your audience. Like there's some people who once you start talking to them, you realize like, oh, they're gonna pity me more if I'm poor.
Exactly.
And give me things. And then but then there's, oh, they're gonna like me more if I'm rich.
Correct.
And give me things.
Correct. So this works for a really long time. And, you know, he would gain these people's trust. He would play games with them like poker, blackjack, whatever, card games. And eventually he would just take all their money. Unfortunately, this all ended up kind of coming to a head when World War I began.
Mm-hmm.
And, the cruise ships weren't really going back and forth any longer.
They were subscripted.
Yeah. So Victor's like, shit, I need to come up with a different way to scam people and make money. Because he's like, I'm not going to get a real job. Like, you know what I mean? Gross. This is my job. So he moves to the United States and he meets back up with Nicky Arnstein. He's like, hey, Mr. Arnstein. And then Nicky ends up introducing him to like a bunch of these other dudes who are really good at scheming and scamming. And these dudes who he kind of forms in a group with, they end up stealing a bunch of Liberty bonds.
Ooh,
that people
bonds.
had gotten from the war.
One of the most secure investments you can have.
Right. And they stole like $500 million of bonds.
Oh, why can I never get into a good scheme like that?
In back then money.
I know.
So it's way more now. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's back then money.
That's back then money. You know what I mean? In 1922, Victor, he ends up in Missouri, and he goes into a bank under the alias of Robert Duvall. Classic scammer name.
Robert Duvall. Wait, is that not... Okay, continue.
No, that's a name of somebody. And I need to know who now, actually.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Was he an actor in 1922?
He's in The Godfather. He's this guy. You know him.
Yeah.
He's in True Grit. He's in so much stuff.
Oh, well, he was just born. Huh.
He's in MASH. Yeah, he was just born. What if his parents named him
Oh, no,
after
he
this
wasn't
guy?
born yet.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is a famous person.
Wait, when is he born? When was he born?
He was born in 1931.
Oh, so this was before
Wow,
he was born.
He is still alive. He's 94 years old.
He called himself Robert Duvall. And he goes into a bank and he basically scams this bank out of $32,000 by pretending that he wanted to buy this like ranch or barn that was repossessed by the bank.
Okay.
And he was like trying to buy it with these stolen Liberty bonds that he had.
Got it. Okay.
But somehow the bank, I don't know exactly how it happened, but the bank ends up giving him cash for the bonds and then he just runs away with that money.
Well, I mean, that's how bonds work. You like buy them and sell them.
Yeah, he's like, cool, thanks. I don't actually want this fucking ranch. Gotta go.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. So the bank, when they find out that he, scammed them, they hire a private detective to find him, and they tracked him down and caught him in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
But after they caught him, he not only convinced them to not press charges, but he also convinced them to give him $1,000.
Whoa.
And they did.
Uno reverse. What the fuck?
I told you he was a smooth criminal.
I gotta see a picture of this guy immediately. He's no Robert Duvall, I'm sure.
No, he's not.
Because young Robert Duvall, I didn't know your game, sir.
He's not.
That was not bad.
Young Robert Duvall, I can tell you that much. So now Victor, he's moving around the United States. He's scamming different business people. And in May of 1925, he travels back to Paris. This is where you might have heard of him.
Okay.
He travels back to Paris with another con man named Dapper Dan Collins.
And that's on Dapper Dan Collins.
I love that con men would give themselves like nicknames like that.
Yeah.
It's Dapper Dan Collins.
This is Dapper Dan Collins. Tell your friends. This is what I said. You think the coppers are going to come for me? I don't think so. I wish people still talk like that.
Me too. So
like genuinely,
bad. Bucko. So one day, Victor, he's in Paris and he's reading the newspaper and he comes across an article that says the Eiffel Tower is in need of repair.
I know. Yes, now I know. My brain just clicked like a giant cog in a machine. Just.
So the article says, the Eiffel Tower is in need of repair and the government was contemplating tearing it down because it's just in such disarray at this point, and the cost to repair it was insanely high. So apparently the Eiffel Tower, which I actually didn't know, it was built in 1889 for the Paris World Fair, and it was never intended to be
stay.
permanent ever. And then after World War I, it was just kind of branded as like the symbol of the city. And so they kept it.
Yeah, it was basically like, it was the Paris World's Fair equivalent to the Chicago World's Fair having the big Ferris wheel.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just like a temporary installation.
Yeah, and then they're like, that's the symbol of the city. So he reads the article, and once again, Victor is just like, cha-ching, cha-ching, bling, bling, bling. I have an idea. So he gets one of his con buddies to draw up these fake official government papers that say he is the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs.
Okay.
Which is completely made up.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound like a real thing at all, actually.
No, he just was like, I'm just going to put as many words into this and you know what? It would work on me.
Me making a fake press pass when I was in high school so I could get into concerts.
I do. You did that.
I did that in college.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you did that when I knew you. I remember. So he sends out these official letterheads to like a bunch of different scrap iron dealers around Paris, and he invites them to come to his hotel suite so they can discuss official government contracts. So the scrap metal people, they come to the hotel. There's like 5 different businesses, and Victor tells them that the government had made the very difficult decision to officially tear down the Eiffel Tower and scrap it.
R.I.P.
But this was going to cause a lot of controversy with the people of Paris. So it had to be like, completely hush hush. You have to keep this quiet. Like no one can know about this.
But we're going to pay you, so it's worth it.
Exactly. Well, you're going to pay me for the scrap.
Yeah.
Basically. So after 4 days, the scrap dealers, they all start submitting their bids to Victor. And he goes through them and he ultimately chooses not the person who submitted the highest bid.
Ooh.
But the person who he felt like was the easiest target.
Yeah, that's a real scammer right there.
Exactly. And this man's name was Andre Poisson. So he has a little meeting with Andre and he's like, between you and me, kid, I know that the government, or like that we are unpaid like government workers essentially.
Yeah.
Like they underpay us. And basically, I'll make sure you get this deal if you give me a little something, something.
Oh, I know what he was doing. He was doing the old Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Exactly. And also, like, why would a con man be like, give me a bribe? You know what I mean? Like, that just wouldn't happen.
Well, I feel like even just taking a bribe makes you a con man, maybe.
Well, yeah. But also, like, how often do government people take bribes?
I have news for you. I have some devastating news. Would you like me to draw it for you now or later? So there's this guy. His name is Elon Musk.
So Andre, he kind of realizes like, okay, Victor's looking for a bribe here. And he's so determined to win this deal at this point.
Yeah.
That he just like hands him money for the bribe. And then they sign the fake contract. And then he also hands him over the money for the Eiffel Tower. So in total, he gives him $70,000.
And that's in yesterday's
money. And
that's
in back then money. So you know how much it was now, because I'm not going to tell you. So the next day, Victor and Dapper Dan, don't forget Dapper Dan.
Oh, I forgot Dapper Dan was a part of this.
Yeah, they head out on a train to Vienna. They're like, we out. So Victor figures, the news of his con is going to get out soon because he so clearly sold the Eiffel Tower to somebody and didn't actually do that.
Yeah.
But after days go by, Andre never comes forward with this. And that's because he was so embarrassed that he got duped.
Yeah, that's like a big thing with dudes specifically when you scam men, that they're so embarrassed they won't come forward. It's kind of like when we talked about the hustlers.
Yes. So knowing he got away with this, basically, Victor goes back to Paris.
Returns to the scene of the easy crime.
And do you know what he does?
Don't tell me he contacts the same person.
Not the same person, but he does the exact same scam to sell the Eiffel Tower with just different scrap metal businesses. Unfortunately, this time, because like Paris is like not that big.
No.
So this time,
especially compared to like American cities, like not at all.
His plan does get fumbled when one of the scrap dealers kind of like talked to other people, figured out that this was a con, and he fucking calls the police. And when that happens, Victor just flees and goes back to America. He's like, I'm not going to deal with this.
This sounds like a Europe problem.
Yeah, this is a Parisian problem, not a me problem.
I'm going to be back in the land of the free.
So when he gets back to New York City, he had heard of this new scam, surprise, surprise, from another con man around town. And he's like, whew, that is too good.
Oh, really?
I got to get in on this one.
Okay.
So this scam is called the Romanian money box. So basically he has a friend who is a cabinet maker make him this small 12-inch square box that had a narrow slit on each side. And inside the box, it's filled with like all these cranks and dials and knobs that, could do anything. Victor takes this box to Florida in 1926, and he immediately finds a target. So what he claims is that this box can duplicate money.
Oh, yeah, this is classic.
Any dollar bill that you want, you would put into the slot on one side, and then you would put a blank piece of paper in the other slot on the other side that was like the same size as the bill. And basically this box would use chemicals like radium to transfer the image from that bill so perfectly onto this blank piece of paper that it would just like create new money. And he said that this process would take about 6 hours to fully complete.
Okay.
So Victor had no problem demonstrating this to his targets before they like purchased the box because it took 6 hours to complete. So the people wouldn't be hardcore watching the box or like paying attention to it. Like that's a long time.
Pull real cash out.
So he would put 2 identical bills in the box, and after the 6 hours, when he would open the slot on the side, he'd be like, "Oh my God, there's 2 $100 bills in here. And we only put one in on the other side. That's so crazy."
The most important part about scamming, not like I'm giving you guys tips or anything.
No, please
but
give us
is
tips.
that you have to be willing to invest in your scam.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to spend a little money, you can't make any money. That's what makes people feel comfortable, right?
Yes.
Be like, you know what? Actually, you keep both of those hundreds. Take it to the store and spend it. Actually, because that's how you sell the fucking $2,000 box.
And that's what he would do.
Yeah.
He's really fucking good at
Like,
scamming.
how do we know it's gonna work? Why don't you take both hundreds? Go buy something nice for yourself. They're mine. On me.
Exactly.
On me. That's how you.
Guys, Cassidy is...
Unfortunately,
she was born in the wrong time, you see? So the man that he had targeted in Florida, his name was Herman Lawler. This man gets completely bamboozled. He ends up paying Count Victor Lustig $25,000 for this magical money-making box.
If something is too good to be true, it 98% of the time is.
Yeah. And of course, because Victor gave these people like, oh, it takes 6 hours, to complete the money, it kind of gave Victor a pretty good head start to flee and go somewhere else before someone discovered that the box did not work. So Victor, he runs off to Oklahoma. And when he's in Oklahoma, he actually does get arrested, but he gets arrested for something that's not like money or fraud related. And he tries to...
What else do I always say? Never commit a crime when you're committing a crime.
Exactly.
You got drugs in the car? You better use that blinker, bitch.
So he had multiple of these like magic money boxes, obviously. And when he gets arrested, he tries to offer the money box to the sheriff in exchange for $10,000 and his freedom. He's like, you just give me 10 grand and let me out of here, and you can have this money box. That's usually worth, like $25,000.
Yeah.
And the sheriff goes, absolutely.
Of course.
Let's do it.
Once again, early 20th century, late 19th century crimes.
Yeah, no, crazy. So Victor, he flees again. And then 8 months later, the sheriff who got duped finds Victor in Chicago, and he tried to take him in again. But Victor's like, bro, you bought a box off me to make counterfeit money. So like, if you're taking me down, you're going down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Victor,
you got to get that blackmail card in.
Victor runs off again. And then the sheriff gets arrested and sentenced to federal prison.
Sorry. The sheriff getting caught, but not him getting caught. You know what? I take it back. It needs to be more like that nowadays.
Victor's like, deuces.
Because the expectation should be higher for this sheriff. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. God, this guy is slick as hell.
I know. So then the Great Depression comes, and Victor comes up with a new scam. And this time his target was the one, the only, Al Capone.
This is before or after the syphilis?
Probably. When did that happen? What year?
Al Capone went insane because he had syphilis in his brain.
But probably before. Probably
whatever.
before. Yeah. This was when Al Capone was like at his peak.
This is peak Capone.
Peak Capone, when he's the danger to society.
Peak Capone.
Peekaboo. So this con was actually pretty intricate. He basically asked Capone to invest 50 grand into a scheme of his that would make Capone more money.
Got it.
But he wasn't actually trying to scam Capone out of money. So
he really did have a scheme.
So no. So listen.
Okay.
So he takes the 50 grand. He keeps this money in a deposit box for like a couple months. And then he comes back to Capone and he goes, oh, that deal I was trying to do, it fell through. Here's your money back.
So he's trying to build trust.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good con man.
Exactly. So Capone is so impressed that Victor was such an honest man and didn't try to just like flee with his cash that he ends up giving Victor $5,000 for him to just keep. He's like, you know what?
Just for having a... Hey, kid, this is just for having a good attitude.
Exactly. So he gives him $5,000 and he says, you can stay in Chicago, like in Al Capone's domain, basically, and like do your schemes and your scams and your business.
As long as you don't take from me, I don't take from you.
And this was ultimately Victor's goal the whole time. He just he didn't want to scam Capone out of money. He just wanted to be in like
to gain his trust,
Capone's good graces, and be able to work in Chicago.
This guy should be the president.
Right? Like, he's amazing. So Victor keeps it up. This part, probably the part where he's not so great.
Oh boy.
He did have a wife and a child at some point. I don't know where they were located. He doesn't really talk about them. Because he's all around the world at this point and they're not with him. But out of all the scams and all the schemes and all the cons that this man got away with,
what gets him?
He made one classic mistake, Cassidy.
Oh, he got greedy?
He broke the heart of his mistress.
Oh, dumb as hell.
Like, what are you doing? You know better. So his mistress, Billy May,
and that's a name of a crazy bitch.
you know it.
Non-derogatory. Love a crazy bitch. But that's the name of a crazy bitch who will ruin your life.
Absolutely.
She will report you to the IRS because she knows you're doing something funky on your taxes.
So she finds out that he's having an affair on her with a younger woman. So he's literally cheating on his mistress with someone younger.
Shocking.
And she's like, absolutely not. And she makes an anonymous phone call to the authorities. She's like, I got your man that you've been looking for.
I can't even be mad that this is how he got caught because this is exactly how a con man should get caught. Absolutely.
So Victor Lustig was arrested on May 10th, 1935. And the day before his trial was set, he actually escaped from the federal house of detention in New York City, where he was being held. And he made a rope out of bed sheets and he climbed out of the window and then he stood on like the 6-inch ledge that was outside of his window and he pretended like he was cleaning the windows, like he was a window cleaner.
God, he's so smart. That's just off the top of the dome too. He just fucking cranked that one out.
So he just starts cleaning the windows until he looks down and he doesn't see anyone walking on the streets below anymore. And then he begins to lower himself all the way down with his makeshift bed sheet rope.
I think we got it innocent. I don't know, guys. I think this guy might have earned it.
And he makes it all the way to Pittsburgh from New York City, where he ends up getting recaptured 5 months later. So he's good for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then he's eventually sent to Alcatraz.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Luckily for him, though, you know who showed up to Alcatraz?
Al Capone.
Al Capone.
How did I know?
So they were able to like hang out.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
And Al Capone like had his goons like keep him safe.
Yeah, and if you got a couple goons on your side, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, so not too shabby if you ask
me.
Over the next 10 years, Victor's health started to decline, and he's still young at this point. Like he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
He filed 1,192 medical requests that were all denied because they believed that he was just faking having an illness. Because they were
That's
like,
not
you're
right.
a con man.
That's too bad. You decided to put him in prison. That means you have to pay for his shit.
I agree.
I don't think you.
Yeah.
I don't think you get to deny.
But in March of 1947, he ends up getting sent to Missouri to be treated for pneumonia because they're like, okay, you're actually sick.
Yeah.
But by the time he gets sent there, it's already too
Sorry,
late.
Alcatraz to where?
Missouri.
Yeah, they wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's so
No,
far. Why would
absolutely.
they not just take him anywhere else?
Yeah, it doesn't
San
make-
Francisco's right there.
It literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
But by the time he gets there, it's kind of already too late, and he ends up dying 36 hours later at the age of 57.
Oh wow, that's so young.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to see a picture of him now, or what?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
He's honestly not that sexy, but like...
Well, now they know all these sexy facts about him. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
That is the most insane bald spot
Yeah.
I've ever, because his hairline is not bad.
No, but then I didn't see the bald spot on the side.
That's crazy. Because usually, you know,
Well,
it's
this
like
is after he got arrested, so he's already like 40 by now.
yeah, give me a young. You have
I
a
don't
young
know if I have a
picture?
youngin.
I mean, he's not ugly. Like,
No,
even
he's not ugly.
Even looking at him old, is that him right there?
I guess so.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's not ugly. And like, I'm sorry.
love a king with a big nose. You already know that.
I'm sorry, but like if he has like all those, like he's like smooth talking and like all that stuff, like I could get it.
You only need to be marginally attractive to, if you are charming, to get away with it.
That's Al Capone.
Yeah, Al Capone is hideous.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be.
So ugly.
This guy is handsome enough. It's like similar, you know, when you like see a picture of someone and, you know, your friend is like, hey, I'm dating this girl. Hey, I'm dating this guy. And you're like, okay, sure. And then you meet them and you're like, click.
Yeah.
They are so charming. They're so funny. They're so interesting. That's the hottest person I've ever met.
Right.
Like, wow.
I get
You know?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna close you out with the list of the 10 commandments for a con man that Victor
Close me
Lustig
out.
left behind. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
So if you want to be a successful con man, you have to follow these 10 rules.
Okay.
1, be a patient listener.
Mm-hmm.
2, never look bored. 3, wait for the other person to reveal any political opinions, then agree with them.
Yes.
4, let the other person reveal religious views, then have the same ones.
Mm-hmm.
5, hint at sex talk, but don't follow it up unless the other person shows a strong interest.
Yes.
6, never discuss illness unless some special concern is shown. 7, never pry into a person's personal circumstances. They'll tell you eventually.
That's a good one.
8, never boast. Just let your importance be quietly obvious. 9, never be untidy. And 10, never get drunk.
Oh, that's a really good one. 'Cause
Yeah. I do feel
loose
like
lips sink ships.
exactly. You say that all the time. I do
It's the
think
same thing as nobody talks, everybody walks. And what makes you talk more than anything?
loose
Booze.
lips.
Yeah.
I do think that most of these sound like what to do on like a first date.
Most of them sound like what to do on a job interview.
Yeah. But there you have it, guys. That is the 10 commandments from the world's smoothest criminal, Victor Lustig.
I support him.
I knew you'd like him.
I love him.
We had 2 pretty interesting guys today.
We did. We love 2 weird little guys.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we support men, but here we are.
Here we are. Supporting them.
Supporting them wholeheartedly. Well, speaking of supporting people, how about we finish it with a listener story?
Let's do it.
So this is from one of our cool kids, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
And Terry said, holy crap, I'm so excited to share this story with you. I just became a cool kid after binging you guys for the last 6 months, and I'm totally in love with you both.
Aw.
Not in a stalkerish way, but if we met, I think that we would be friends.
Hell yeah.
I hope you enjoy my story below. Hopefully it's not too long. I grew up in South Florida, Broward County to be exact. Nowadays, cattle pasture and agriculture is not something you equate with the bright neon lights of A1A or sultry sunny days at the beach.
Ooh.
But when I was 18, there were still parts of the county where teenagers tipped over sleeping cows and rode their horses down dirt roads.
Classic.
There was even a hitching post at the local Burger King. Ugh, jealous. Trucks were muddy and carried hay and feed, and people still wore boots, Wranglers, and Stetsons. If you know, you know. I have a Stetson hat, so I do.
You do.
My boyfriend at the time, I think I'll call him Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Lived in one of these last rural areas of Broward County, and this is where my story begins.
Okay.
So one night, Rick and I were going out to a local arcade, and he had to stop at his house for something. I can't really remember what. Maybe his wallet, who knows. I chose to stay in the car that night because I did not like his mother, and she did not like me.
Ooh.
We arrived at his house, and he parked in front of what was their game room. It had a lot of windows and a pool table in a bar, and I could see where his mother and stepdad were there playing a game of pool. Now, from where he parked, if I looked to the left, I could see their side yard, which was fairly wide open, had some trees but mostly grass, and it led to the line of longleaf pines that formed a barrier between his yard and the cow pasture beyond. During the day, you could see the cows out there, but there was a lot of darkness under the pines, even during the day. They were very lush and healthy, and they created a lot of shade. I don't remember if the moon was full that night. I believe it was because his front yard seemed very bright, and because even out there at the time, the bright lights of the Fort Lauderdale did not infiltrate this area. As I was sitting in the car, staring into his house, watching him talk to his parents, something caught my eye, some movement in the tree branches, and it was just by the line of the pasture on his side yard. I stared where the movement was, thinking maybe a cow had gotten through the line or was grazing through the fence, but that's not what it was. What emerged through the line of trees was a werewolf. I know, I can hear you across time and space with gasping. Werewolves don't exist, right?
No, I gasped as in like, oh my God, I believe you.
I just think that's hilarious that she said that.
And I gasped.
Yep. I wish that were so. This was long before Underworld was a thing, but what came out of those trees was very much like the Underworld lichen. Tall, most likely around 7 feet, white fur, glowing green eyes, and it stood on 2 legs. Imagine if dogs had hips that could keep them upright for extended periods, and this is essentially what you would have.
Ew.
This is what I was looking at. So I froze. My body literally locked down. I couldn't move. I've never felt terror like that like I did in that moment. I watched helpless as it stood there. Its hand or paw or whatever was braced on a tree trunk. It lifted its muzzle into the air like it was sniffing something.
Ew.
Testing the wind, searching for something. Was it me? Could it smell my fear?
Oh my gosh.
My eyes darted between it and the safety of the house, the warm lights, the 3 people inside. All of this seemed like a safe zone, which when I think back on it was probably giving me a false sense of security. Although I couldn't move, my mind was racing, trying to come up with a successful exit strategy. My eyes feverishly gauged the distance between the werewolf and the door leading to the house, about 50 to 70 yards, or feet. Would I be able to bolt from the car and get inside before I was noticed? No one knows what they're going to do when they're in a situation as I was.
No.
Everybody can say, oh, I would have done this or I would have done that, but I really don't know, and neither do you. Because my body just locked down. My mind was going a mile a minute. Was I actually seeing what I thought I was seeing? These things existed in movies, not in reality. If werewolves are real, does that mean everything else is? Vampires, fairies? Is it going to eat me? That was the biggest refrain going through my brain, along visions of being ripped to shreds as I tried to run to the front door. My eyes flicked back to where my boyfriend stood in his house, his back to me, blissfully unaware of what was going on outside. I thought again that maybe I can get out of the car and into the house before the creature would be upon me, but I decided staying in the car was actually the safest move. I looked back at the werewolf, and it even sounds funny saying it out loud, but it is what it is. I looked back at him, and he was still there, but now his gaze had shifted, and he was looking right at me. I let out a gasp, the first sound that I had made since I come into view. I slid down in the front seat slowly, my knees unlocking enough for me to get almost below the dashboard where I peered out, keeping an eye on the monster that should not be in my reality. It seemed like an eternity before his eerie eyes moved from my direction. He turned around and faded back into the trees, heading back towards the cow pasture. Yeah, cows seem like way better prey if you're a werewolf, just saying. I continued to slouch in my seat. My eyes were locked in on the spot where he had been. My brain was still unable to comprehend what I was actually seeing. The whole encounter couldn't have taken more than 5 minutes, if that. I was blown off my axis. I didn't know what to think. Did I really just see what my brain was telling me that I saw? That is not a real creature. That is a creature of myth, not something that lived in my world. And I sure as hell couldn't tell anybody about what I just saw. Because, to be honest, part of me didn't even believe that I saw it. And that's a scary feeling when you just can't trust your own brain or your own eyes.
True.
My boyfriend came back out of the house and opened up his door. He took one look at me in the overhead dome light and immediately asked me what was wrong. Nothing is wrong, I told him. Why would you even ask? I could hear the tremor in my own voice, though, so I knew it was going to fool him. But really, how could I even tell him what I just saw? He just said that I looked terrified, and I made some excuse about being alone on his property in the dark waiting for him, and that must have just given me a case of the spooks. And for a while, that is what I told myself. You had a case of the spooks. Over time, though, when the memory remained very clear in my mind, I knew what I saw. The older I got, and I guess you could say the more zero fucks that I give, I embraced what I saw, and I knew that it was real. That day kind of changed my life in a way. I was a big horror movie fan at that point in my life, and werewolves and vampires were my actual favorites. Then I saw a real werewolf, and to this day, I cannot watch anything with a werewolf in it.
Did it turn into Jacob?
If only. Then, not Underworld, not American Werewolf in London, not Lupin's transformation in Harry Potter, or even that one Michael Jackson video.
Oh, yeah.
My husband makes fun of me because, well, who wouldn't? He does believe me, though, or he thinks that, or at least I think that he wants to believe me. Like I said, I find it hard to believe myself sometimes. I've never seen one again, and although I really wish I would, I've never seen a vampire either.
That I would not want to see.
So somewhere in Broward County, Florida, there is a wolf walking around on 2 legs. What a fantastical world we could be living in. If there truly are creatures and cryptids like that can't be explained or that hide from explanation. What if there are more myths that are real? What if my werewolf isn't the only one out there? I have actually never looked into werewolf sightings just because I'm scared to death of what I'm going to see. Werewolves have been mentioned in the historical records since they first surfaced in Epic of Gilgamesh in 2100 BC.
Yeah.
That is a long freaking time to be around if there wasn't some kernel of truth in there. Every region in the world has their own legends about them, what causes it, whether it's a pelt, a belt, a spell, or whatever, whether they are just people caught up in delirium, maybe even mental illness. If werewolves are real, and I only say if because even though I've seen one, I still have reservations about sane logic. What if other creatures exist? What if vampires do exist? Not a person who believes that they are a vampire and drinks blood to make it seem real. I'm not knocking anybody, but I mean, you know what I mean when I say what if a vampire is real, right? What if it's goblins, or what if it's something like they claim to be seen in Kentucky?
The Hopkinsville goblins.
Bigfoot, chupacabras, dragons. What if somewhere in the world these things exist? What are the chances
Wait,
that
that's really weird.
she would mention that? I know people say creatures like werewolves or Bigfoot or other cryptids shouldn't exist, and we're brought up to believe that monsters aren't real. There isn't a monster under your bed or in your closet standing under your window by the light of the full moon, but they are real, and I think they do walk among us. They just choose not to be seen unless they want to be.
That was really good.
Terry. Good job, Terry.
Wow.
Wow, you're a good writer.
Yeah.
And I saw a werewolf when I was a kid.
Yeah, you did.
You can go listen to that. I think we covered that in my dad's Patreon episode, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I believe you.
I believe you.
Especially when you're like in the middle of nowhere, like rural stuff is so scary. Like anything could be out there.
Yeah.
I don't think people who like don't go to like rural areas often realize how much space there is.
Yeah. And it's just so dark.
So dark, and there's so much space, and like, yeah, of course some sort of creature could be hiding easily.
It's terrifying. But that was really good.
That was really good. And thank you, Terry, for sending that in. If you have a story you would like to send to us, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also find our social media, our Patreon, and everything at dtkpod.com. We totally dig you guys, but most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.